Oh, welcome to Live, Love, and Marry Wiser. Today, real men share what they value most in women. Oh, you don't actually love
No, I did not know that community was important or that I needed it.
So now you're what we're doing, helicopter parenting.
Hey, welcome to Live, Love, and Marry Wiser, where our mission is in our name. Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. But with all thy getting, get understanding. And so we are here weekly to help you get wisdom and understanding. Today, we have a fantastic episode that's different than anyone that we've done before, but we're super excited about it. And we are happy that you are here with us. And for those who are watching on the replay, we appreciate you as well. And please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about it. If you're a regular watcher, we want to hear from you. And we're definitely going to want to hear from you at the end of this because we have a question for you. So, Onita Hall, how are you, my friend?
I am a 10. Okay.
All right. 10.
I'm a 10 because I'm believing that God's going to get me to the other side.
Other side.
I'm doing good. Very happy to be here. This is not just a time of me sharing, but I count it also as self-care time for me. It's a moment where my family knows this time is carved out. I already fed y'all. If you're not bleeding profusely, take care of yourself.
Not profusely. She didn't say just bleeding, but profusely.
Yes. My 5-year-old wants a Band-Aid.
You know what the Band-Aids are if it's just a little cut.
Right. Go take care of yourself. So this is also self-care time for me. So very, very happy to be here again, rocking our community shirt.
Yes, I love the Praying Sisters. While you're rocking it, let's talk about it. For those who don't know, we have a community now that we have officially started called Praying Sisters. And praying is an acronym for professional growth, relational harmony, abundant health, yielded to Christ, interceding for others, nurturing social bonds, and generous living. And if you want to be a part of that community that helps women who struggle with overwhelm and always trying to be the strong one, to get community and support and coaching so that they can live their purpose and live a fulfilling life, then you can click that link right there in the comments. It's right at the top, and it will take you to our webpage where it will tell you all about the community and the investment and all of that. And we really hope that you will join. We are just kind of recruiting quietly right now, if YouTube is quiet, but we're coming out with a big launch very shortly. We're just making some preparations for that. And so we'd love for you to join us, or at least come in and just try to find out something more about it. And you get a cool shirt if you join. I mean, you have to pay for it, but still.
There's other merch. You can get other merch. Okay.
Some podcast merch that we've been having some struggles just trying to get our merch, just kind of nailing that down and where it's going to be. But we are going to make sure you have access to that sometime in the near future, hopefully before the end of the year. That'd be cool. So
Lorraine, I get to ask you, how are you today, Lorraine?
I am doing quite well today. I was productive in some things, preparing for speaking engagement.
Wonderful.
In about 3 weeks. And so excited about that. And I am going to be working with a coach on some business things. So I'm excited about that.
Yes.
Like one-on-one, hand-in-hand, kind of deal, as opposed to just group coaching, which can be effective in some respects, but not in others. So I'm excited about God opening that door. and
Wonderful.
have not been to the health food store or the pet store over there. So I apologize. There is no update today. I really want to, but you do know I've had an injury in
Yes,
the
you have.
past week and a half. So I've really been mostly in bed or
Mm-hmm.
sitting down because I did have an injury or strain. I pulled a muscle. And that was causing me some pain. And we had a hurricane last week, by the way.
I was like, you had a earth shattering and dangerous hurricane. Hi, Susan.
Hi, Susan. We're sorry to hear that, but listening is perfect. We're always happy to hear.
Lorraine, I think we should send Susan some merch because she's been faithful.
He has some already.
Oh, she does. Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
we don't have any, but I don't know if she has the podcast merch. I know she has a single mission merch, but if we don't, Susan, I know you're just listening, but if you do not have, show her one of those lovely mugs. Because I actually forgot mine at home today. One of our podcast mugs, then let us know. We will send you one of those for sure. Because yeah, she's a faithful listener and a faithful supporter. So happy to have you here. Okay, so there's no update other than I have not been to the pet store or the health food store. We did have a hurricane last week. A tree fell on the house right by where I was sleeping, but praise God, there was no damage in the sense of like the roof caving in, like we've seen houses, or water coming in, or the windows broken or anything. Everybody was safe. And so they are actually looking at a potential another one this weekend. So we're praying for that to not be the case, which is why our producer is not here, because she's on that team. And so she's got a lot of other work to do in order to be prepared for it. So we're just hoping that none of that happens. So
we're praying in Jesus' name.
But as soon as all of that is passed, Onita, I'm going to do it.
You're going to get back outside. You can go to
back outside. I'm going back outside. So what are we talking about today? This is a great topic.
This is a great topic. Men sharing what they value most in women. And I'm excited about this. I actually, 2 weeks ago, I said, what happened to Man Crush Monday and Woman Crush Wednesdays? Like during the pandemic, when everybody was we were restricted from being outside, that people were doing that faithfully. And it seems like all I see a lot more of on social media, well, again, it could be your algorithm, but I'm not seeing any of that positivity being shared and people showing what they appreciate about the opposite sex, whether it's your actual spouse or just somebody else that you admire. And so in this heated, political season, hurricanes and all the things that are going on in the world, I think it's great that we can stop and take a moment to share and talk about what men said, what they value most. Because I don't think women have a problem sharing, of course, emotionally, how we feel about a person. I mean, we can see a person we've never met and come, hey, girl, you wearing that dress. Just do that naturally. But I think it's refreshing to talk about what men value in women and we need to hear it. We need to hear it because some of us are not hearing it a lot. And per the post we're going to talk about, a lot of women were like saying they were reassured by it. Like they were just patient to hear it because they really, they thought they weren't valued. And they're seeing how men are appreciating and value women in this post. So I'm glad we're talking about it and being able to bring light to it and hopefully put a spark in some other men to start thinking about what they value about the women in their lives and freely sharing what it is they value.
Yeah. No, I think that's so true. And, when a friend of mine who actually will be on the program in a couple of weeks, October 15th is when we're scheduled to have her on here. She sent me this Instagram post and I was like, wow. When, she's like, read the comments. So I started reading the comments and I was like smiling so big and I just felt so good. I said, you know what? This is going to be our episode. We're not going to do anything deep though. This actually is deep. And the reason it is it may not feel that way, but it is because of when we introduce it to you. Because we hear a lot about gender wars, and that can mean a lot of different things. But as far as in the dating arena, it really is like you have like the red pill community, and then you have like the pink pill community, and all these different communities who are now against each other. And all women are this, and all women are that, are bad, and all women are, you know, just about money, and all men are just about sex, and all. And so it's just like this generalization about the whole gender that's opposite to you because of some bad experiences that you've had with some people. We know there are people who are like that, but it's not everyone. And particularly for us, in 2 seasons ago, we had an episode called Are Black Women Too Masculine? And at the time, it was viral for us. It was almost 1,000 views. And I was like surprised when I went back, because we're a smaller channel. I was surprised when I was like, wait a minute, whoa, that's a lot of views. And then I started reading the comments, and I mentioned then, and I'll say again, I was hurt and I was angry too, but it really was stemming from being hurt because there was so much hate thrown, and it was by Black men. It wasn't just random people, it was Black men who were saying all of these negative things about Black women. And I was like, man, I just felt bad. I felt violated. I felt unprotected. That's the real word that I felt, Onita.
Yes.
Felt unprotected.
Yes, agreed.
And so when I read this post and I saw the comments, I felt protected. I felt safe. I felt like I could be in the space with any of these men and really feel connected and loved. And someone said, and one of the women said, she felt like the comment section was just like a warm hug.
Yes.
And so we're just excited about sharing with you and what we're literally going to do. I'm going to tell you the context of this. Oh yeah, so she does. She's got plenty of merch.
Love it.
Continue to develop more. We're gonna send you more. But what we're actually going to do, and I hope that you all enjoy this as much as I hope that you will, because that's what I'm planning. I'm going to tell you about the post, and then I'm just going to show you slides of the comments, and we're going to read them. We're going to go back and forth. And I don't know if you have your phone on YouTube, because I'm going to make the screen full screen.
Okay.
So that we can read the comments better.
Okay. Cool.
And then maybe if there are any bodies in the chat or whatever, then you can read those comments when necessary. So I'll just start. We're gonna go here, and I'm gonna tell you. So this is the post. It's by Tony Baker. He's a comedian. And he asked this question: fellas, outside of anything sexual or beauty related, what is your favorite thing about women? Now, already that question just makes you feel good, just like, because it's clear that he has an affection for women to even ask that, but it just kind of redirects your attention to, because even we can always have negative things to say about ourselves, and to actually just kind of stand outside and look at someone else talking about you and uplifting you was really good. So I'm going to start and read this first one. This is like one comment from the guy, and actually I didn't even capture it all because it was too much for the screenshot, but I'm gonna just do the full screen so you can read it too. But I'm just gonna read what he said, and then we're just gonna talk a little bit about it. So this person says the celebratory dances when they win a game or get food, women's phrases and humor, the pet names, especially if the pet or nickname they give me is a hit, when the people at the restaurant get the food wrong and they go protective mode, when they care. It's different than how men care. It's thoroughly in your face and nurturing. I love how women complement each other and there's a genuine love there.
Yeah.
Resilience. I feel like they can really accomplish anything in a male dominated world. Doesn't matter what the media says, it's still male dominated, and that's how it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Their joy is vibrant and healing, their softness. Now, like we could kind of just end the program right there and just be like, oh. But tell me which one of those that you just like really, I know you probably love them all, but
I mean, seriously,
like the most that person said. Obsidian skin.
I mean, first of all, kudos to you. Like my head's off to you, because wow. And first of all, they took the time, because everybody likes a shorthand right now. I was like, he wrote in full sentences. I appreciate you. And gave more than just one thing, because we are many things. We're not just one thing. And that's unfortunately what happens again when people just focus on the beauty related stuff or the body with the BBLs and all this other stuff. And I'm glad that this took it deeper. I would say, first of all, I just laughed at I was cracking up. Like, y'all pay attention that we do get happy about food. Like,
he's not actually the only person that said that. So that was the funny about that.
That was a funny thing. Yeah. But I would say, that one, that resilience, I feel like, him saying resilience, I feel like they can really accomplish anything in a male dominated world. And he told the truth that it is that, and so I feel like we are resilient. Like, we just come out the womb ready. And life keeps on happening. We can talk about just even the example of our sisters in the praying community. We just from the requests we get to see and the highs and the lows, these women are keep chugging. It's like, oh my goodness, you had to go do XYZ. Oh, but you out at the gym. Okay, but you now back home cooking dinner. Like, I do say I did take my cape off, because sometimes, maybe trying to do too much, but the fact that that there was respect there. And I looked at this post too, and a lot of people liked it and agreed.
Yeah.
With all of what he had to say. And so that
like 85,000 people liked it.
Right.
I'm like, that's just not a few.
Right. I'm like, that's a lot of people. But that we are resilient. And I hope that any woman who saw that they got reminded that I can do. Like, I'm an overcomer. Like, I don't need to feel what you feel, but I don't need to stay in this space that I can't overcome. And so I would say that one probably just like tugs on my heartstrings right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I love everything, that he said. I think that I probably will pick out too. He said, when the people at the restaurant get the food wrong and they go protective mode. And the thing that I loved about that is, first of all, he's actually not the only person who said that.
So
that's just a thing that they've noticed. And it's such a seemingly small thing to notice. Yeah. And that's what I really loved about this. It's like he noticed that.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, because the other guy was like, he had asked for no pickles, please. Like, you can hear his woman, you can hear the woman say that. You can hear yourself say that.
Yes, totally.
And, so I love that. And also when he said, I love how women compliment each other and there's genuine love there.
Yes.
That has happened to me on the street from women that I don't even know. And I have done that to women that I don't know. And I do think that it kind of defies that perspective that women can't get along with each other and they just always hating on each other and all that kind of stuff. Yes, we know no population is all anything. Yeah. So there are women who hate on each other. Yeah. But then there's so many women who do this too.
Yes.
So I just loved what he had to say. So let's see.
That one he said too, though, about their joy being vibrant and healing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, woo.
Yeah, healing. Like,
Healing.
that's crazy.
Woo. Because
That
I'm
is
like,
crazy.
when you say, we want a safe space to land, and I always hear older women saying, man want to come home, we want to be peace there. That joy is also their peace, and that's healing.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay, you want to read this? Some of these?
Yes, King Thompson 32 says, it's hard to put into words, but I will try. You ever been cooking and said it's missing something? Then you find it. That is a woman. The missing ingredient that makes everything better. Okay.
I love that.
And look, at that time of your screenshot, I'm quite sure it's more now. Over 13,000 people agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They all agreed. So what is that? What is that? Like, what did you take from that?
Well, I think the beauty of that is I believe that is exactly what God wanted Adam to feel when he took him and had him name the animals and see that. Adam didn't feel that before, but he took him and said, okay, wait a minute. They have partners. Like, there's something going on there that I don't have. And I believe that is the missing ingredient, that God intended him to feel that. And so for him to really even say that in that way just reflects to me almost a biblical perspective that the help me is that person that feels a need that God could have decided to feel on his own.
Yeah.
But he chose to not feel it. And when he said it is not good that man should be alone, he wasn't alone. He was with God. He was with the angels. He was with all of people. I mean, we don't know, people in heaven were coming to visit him and all that. I mean, it still was just in a day. So not a whole lot had happened, but still, he had the animals and, all of that stuff. And so when you think about the fact that God said it's not good that man should be alone, it's because he had left a missing piece so that she could feel it. And he just identified that.
Yeah. Girl, you summed that thing up, honey. You summed that thing up. I think that's awesome. It's
my gosh. Go ahead.
It's, like I said, it's helped me. I mean, if you talk to some men who are very well accomplished and they're still fighting for they get that next dollar, the next promotion, and then you'll say, hey, what's missing? I've had some of them say, oh, I'm just missing my life partner now at this point. Like, I did all the things, but still not fully feeling accomplished because they don't have anybody to share it with. That missing ingredient.
Absolutely. John the Liberator says similar to what the first person said, I love how freely and sincerely women compliment each other. Just walking around with my partner, she's getting compliments from strangers and giving them out. It's a lovely thing to witness. And then Kev on Stage, which, he's well known as well.
Yeah.
True care, preemptive care. Yes. That's a good word. Yes. In the moment, shoulder to cry on. Follow up to make sure you're okay. Care. I think he cares about care.
Yes. That's a big, that's one of his love languages. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But preemptive care, talk about that.
Yeah, that preemptive care it's a selfless act to do that. To basically premeditate what it is that your spouse or your partner that they need, but also trying to meet a need or something that they care about in advance before they even ask it, before they even express that something's going wrong. Just preemptive. Like, if I know, for instance, my husband's going to have a long day at work, I know he's major presentations and all these things, I'm do little check-ins, and sometimes it's not a check-in of a bill or nothing. It's sending a nice prayer. I'll send a voice memo of a prayer, just reminding him of how intelligent he is, and how God has put him there to do great things, and to not be discouraged or dismayed, and don't be anxious. You got this. And then there may be another text later saying, I'm so proud of you. I appreciate all that you're doing for our family, because I know that's helping him when he's having these highs and lows at work to like, okay, this is why I'm doing it. Okay, this is why I got to put up with this guy because I got to put up with this person getting on my nerves because okay, these people, and then ensuring when he comes home that, hey, he's coming home to a peaceful space. That means that even sometimes putting my concern to the side right now, because I can see the the frown in his brow. Okay, something's going on. So he ain't shared it, but his face looking different. His walk is different. So I'm, thinking about, okay, how can I be of assistance, or how can I help to be this shoulder right now that he needs? And so I think that's major. Both parties need that.
Yes.
And I just think that it's great when men can say, hey, I really value that about my spouse, because they know we take care of everybody. Because see, that preemptive care is not even just about your spouse.
Right.
We're like that with everybody we care about. We're just like that with everybody we care about. And so I'm glad that it's being taken notice to, because we do care about those things. That's why we're such great hostesses, like our dear Mama Eva and our praying women community. She had those women, even though it's going to be a short turnaround from getting to the airport to the retreat, she had considered and thought of things that this person may like and need. And so that's those parts that make us, why God made us that way, honestly, because we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm just going to move on. So he said their intuition, they know when they sense your sadness. I love this. When they sense your sadness, they switch to the comforting. When it's sickness, they start nurturing. When you're on, I had to, X out a word there. When you're on, they're on it. And when they see your vision, love this, they'll go all in with you and won't stop until you both make it.
Yes.
That is so fantastic. And like you said, we can look at the likes, 37,000 likes, and this was a week ago. So we know there's a lot more. That means that and that's not women, all women. Like women were responding and saying, like, these are mostly women who are like smiling and with the hearts and stuff.
Yeah.
But he told the women they needed to not be answering this question. And they just needed, he said it in his own unique way. So he left the part out. But and I think that's good, because sometimes we just need to be quiet and just listen to what men have to say. Yes. And so, you said earlier about us just kind of like talking about this to just kind of feel good and kind of wash away some of the grime, if you will, from some of the hate that we got on the other programs or whatever. And of course, it was a while ago, but it still lingers, in your mind. And especially, I would say, as a single woman, that sometimes it feels as if, the reason that you don't have a husband is because you're like this. Yeah. Like how they were describing in the comments of the masculine episode. And so it kind of can demoralize you when you are finding like, okay, how come nobody is interested in me? Oh, maybe it's because they think I'm too masculine or too whatever. And so to, kind of come to a space where you feel beautiful, you feel safe, you feel loved, you feel affirmed, you feel recognized. And I mean, every woman isn't all of this, but I actually think most women are naturally like this. Oh, yeah. But life turns you hard. Yep. Life makes you have to be rougher. And life can, because of things that happen to you, and even sometimes from things that you do and the consequences of that, you become harder and not as soft as God has made us to be. And just sometimes out of necessity, like we talked about in that, because you are single, there are things that you still have to do for yourself that your husband would normally be the one doing. And so I just love that he kind of said, like, basically when he said they know, that's just like whatever. That's just like they see us, and like even men that I'm not dating, if I'm friends with them, I see them, And so imagine when you can kind of release that, because you are in a relationship. Obviously, there are things you can't do if you're not, but when you can release that, it's just like the best feeling. And I think you were on here when I said this, that one of the things that made me realize that I was really, really ready again to pursue a, relationship.
Mm.
Although I haven't been to the pet store or the health food store, but I'm going. I'm going. Is that I have all of this inside of me that I want to pour out on to someone who wants it, who deserves it. And I just want to give it all to him. I don't want to be a friend where you just kind of, I don't want to be a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. So I can give you all of the love, all of the care, all of the comfort, all of the intuition, all of the passion, all of the, work ethic to get your vision and our vision. I want to give all of that to somebody. And so I just think that it was beautiful that he said that.
Oh yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
All right, you're up.
Oh, well, first, I was glad that this person said they asked their 82-year-old dad, because I wanted to hear from the older guys too, right? So I asked my 82-year-old dad, and he said, y'all just colorful. You bring color to a place and love to a home. And I truly believe that. My granddad used to say, I pay the bill, she makes it a home. He's like, I pay the bills, but she makes it a home. And that's so true. But bringing color to a place. I mean, first of all, granddad got bars and a little swag about it. But it is, we add life to it. I think that's part of the color. We add the compassion and the passion, the forgiveness, the things that we do as women, the gracefulness that God placed in us, the softness, the femininity to it. I think that all is wrapped up in that color that he's talking about. And even and like you said, not just in dating, but even in working, like you have to. I've done some IT cybersecurity, and the guys are all like binary, zeros and ones. They did it. So when it comes time to do a presentation and they're trying to do that, and I'm going, we are talking to people who are not robots. Like, let's make it add a little bit more to it. Let's make it, let's dumb it down a little bit, and let's add some more things to where people can connect. And every time after, people like, oh my gosh, it's the first year this has happened. We understand what was going on, and da. And I'm like, oh, okay, because I added the color to it. I added this extra side to it. And so I think it was great that he said that. First of all, I got excited and tickled when I read when they get excited about their dress when they have pockets.
Because
I mean, I put a dress on.
Why can't we have pockets in our dresses?
Right.
I love that. Oh my God. Yes. Oh, go for it. And he's not the only one who said that.
He's not the only one. And again, a week ago, over 18,000 likes. We don't know men and women. But the fact that they noticed, because I'm going to tell you, even on Sunday, I put my dress on and I put my hands in that thing. Oh, the joy. Oh, the joy. Okay.
Oh, the joy.
Dressing. And the fact again that you noticed it, but those little things are big things when you're saying, I care about this person.
Yeah.
That I noticed that she got excited about pocket in her, in her dress. Like, yes, this is a big deal for us. And y'all noticing it.
Yes.
And like you said, he wasn't the only one that said that. There were some other people that said they get happy about them pockets in their dress.
There's a whole commercial about that where the girls have on the three, they have on the same dress, and they were talking about the pockets in it, and it was like, okay, now I need to change. But it's crazy. But that's what you're saying is so important, and we just need to dial in on that. When we start getting caught up in the gender wars, and it's like, no, there's so many men out there who just see you.
Yeah.
They see you. They see me. They're not just trying to be, mean. They're not just trying to be, obviously there's a lot of sexual violence in our world, and there's a lot of, and women can be afraid a lot around men. And it's like, but there's so many men that see you, love you, appreciate you, have wonderful thoughts about women in general. Not just their woman. And so I just think that's beautiful.
And every time we say those things, I think about our dear Pastor Leggett, who always says, women, you are the most powerful being in this world. You are the most incredible, because those are true. And I think with all that you just said, women, we need to believe those things about ourselves. Appreciate that somebody else sees that in you, but hey, appreciate that about yourself, that you do add color to something, that you are caring, that you do think about things in advance for others. Those are valuable things. And unfortunately, in this world today, with the whole perfection deception of, social media, a lot of times women we're looking around to our left and our right, comparing ourselves to other women, and to what this person who got all the filters up and not fully representing all their bad days. They're only putting up the best events and the best moments of life. And they've taken 100 pictures. They put it in the AI now, because now I can do that, make my hair longer, curlier. And you're sitting around comparing yourself to this person and feeling less than. But we have so much value. There's so many parts, so much in us that we got to value, and we got to start saying it to ourselves. We're speaking these things.
Absolutely.
Again, hopefully this will be the springboard. It's great to see men see it, but see it in yourselves, ladies.
See it in yourself, because the more we see it in ourselves, the more it comes out of us.
Yes.
And, I think that what's so important is, particularly for single women, but for married women too, is to not let the world harden you. To see yourself in this way and just be that way. Here's the danger. The danger of being soft is that people can hurt you. Yes.
Yes.
But the danger of not being soft is that you hurt yourself.
Yep.
And that's constant. And you're missing that part of you that God has created you to be, to lift up, to build up, to affirm, to be what this guy says right here. He's like, that soft place.
Yes.
He's like, Tony, I think what I appreciate most about women beyond all the surface stuff is their resilience. It's that quiet. This is not the one I was looking at. Let me go back. No, I got to go back.
Oh, no, it was at the top. A soft nature.
This one. You ever laid down and she rubbed your head as you just lay there witnessing pure intimacy? Like, you don't even want to do anything sexual. You really just be laying there vibing on some pure platonic baby energy. What skin to skin contact. You go from being the protector to feeling protected from the world. That energy is top tier.
Yes.
That's so awesome.
It's awesome.
And the other part that's so awesome about this is how they were expressing it. A lot of times we act like men they don't have that emotional thing. They can't express their feelings like that. Yes. And here they are pouring their hearts out.
Yes.
It's just crazy. And it's like, instead of fighting against each other, we need to be drawing these things out of each other by softening, both of us softening and saying, this is what I really think about you.
Yeah.
And then me responding with how I feel about him and all the things that I want. Like, okay, if I pour out myself to someone who, doesn't, obviously you don't give everything to someone who's not your partner, but you give a lot when you're dating because that's who you are. But then maybe it doesn't work out. Okay. I appreciate that hurt.
Yeah.
But I think that we have to get to a place where we don't let hurt control our love.
Yes.
Because that's what happens when we think, oh, I'm hurt, and so I'm not going to love that way anymore. We just continue to hurt ourselves, and we just foster that. And that's not who God wants us to be. I get that it's hard to recover or whatever, but if we make decisions about recovering from hurt, sometimes we just choose wiser and then but we don't lose that's what I want to say.
Yes.
Don't lose yourself because someone hurt you.
Yes.
Because they go on with their life. Yeah. Whether they hurt you on purpose or they hurt you accidentally, they still go on with their life. Don't lose yourself because somebody hurt you. Yes. That's really what I want to go theirs. Okay, so that's okay. Let's move on. What you got?
Okay. Ooh. Their ability to love through any circumstances, the soft nature they can have to make anyone feel special. Again, that speaks to the resilience, because to be able to love through any circumstances, that person has to be resilient, as well as forgiving. I don't know what the reply is. I'd be curious to see the reply. But, because then you'll have some people, I'm quite sure some people were saying, well, what about if they cheating on you? Love through that? Yeah, we not, this not that post. This is
it's not that post. This is not that post.
It's not that post. To love through any circumstances, and the soft nature that can make you feel special. That's major, because we have that. You have a movement of women saying, hey, I want to live in my soft, I want to be in my soft era. Men show up this way, but no, you go ahead. Like we said, you be who you want to be, regardless of how they acting. Be yourself. Be the woman God has called you to be. Let go of the hurt. Let go of because I will tell you this, we're trying to hold it on and control every situation. You'll end up becoming a distrustful person, be division or isolated. And then you're still, again, like Lorraine said a few minutes ago, you're hurting yourself. So be yourself, be that soft nature. And we're not saying that it's easy and you can do it overnight, but if you make the choice that I want to be a healed person that can walk around in my softness so that I can make others feel special, you can do it.
Absolutely, you can do it. And this is not restricted to men.
Yes.
Be your soft self with women too.
Yes.
Because some people have been hurt by women. But forgive and let us be ourselves, like really tap into who we really are, and go from there. I didn't know if you wanted to read that other.
Oh, yes. Yeah, this is the best thread I've seen this month. I'm walking around like a Jessica, thinking every comment is about me. First of all, I was like,
me too.
Yes. I was like, girl, go ahead. And because the reality is this, we can be all those things. That's what I love about this, that God has wired us in such a complex way. We can really be all these things. So I was like, you know what? You take that in, Joy. You go right ahead and you just let that marinate. And you are those things. And you can be all those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. This is a funny one. He said the way the room feels cleaner when they cleaned it.
Hey.
Now I was just like, that was sweet, or you try to get out of cleaning. But either way.
But it's the truth though. Like, even when Victor and the kids clean, and then I'll come back and I just go through that thing, like maybe a few more minutes, and he'd be like, see, we can't clean like you clean. And I'm like, yes, y'all can. Try harder. Try hard. Matter of fact, watch me work and do exactly what I did. But it's just, I get it. I understand. I understand.
I love that. And this is the woman, she was like, this comment section is like a huge hug for her. So that was a really cool. Actually, I'm gonna read that whole thing. She said, don't know at Tony Baker, don't know why you asked the question, but just know the comment section is like a huge hug to us women. A hug of appreciation and acknowledgement that you'll see us and know exactly what our worth and goals are as the women in your lives and society. Thank you, because at times it feels as though we are working in vain and we feel so underappreciated. But this is kingship at its best. And I pray all of you men gain and maintain your real queens in Jesus' name.
Yes.
So I love that so much.
Yes.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
All right. This is yours.
Official Giles music. I love their softness and ability to disarm our hardness with it. They can recharge and nurture your spirit, especially if it was on the verge of breaking. No disrespect to the harder women. I get it, and I know some aren't hard by choice. Appreciate him recognizing that. But still, a soft feminine woman, the most powerful masculine Spartan warrior, is powerless in front of such femininity. I jump in front of her. This is Sparta. Kick for a woman like that. With a soft woman, a man can come home tired, on the verge of collapse, mean boss with unrealistic expectations, and could have a big boardroom meeting tomorrow. Okay, he's talking about my husband's business all the day. He'll come home exhausted and leave for work on the next day, patched up, full of confidence, and ready to take over the company, conquering all who oppose him for the sake of what that beautiful woman offers: respite, recharge, and a pair of wings Red Bull couldn't touch with their best formula. That's why they got bars. Okay, that's why he's into music. Okay.
I love it. I love it. I love that. Yeah. And I was thinking about, like, when you were saying what you were saying about your Victor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, yeah, that sounds like that situation, you know. And it's like, I might have something I need to talk about, but let me put that aside for now. It doesn't mean forever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, you know, that, you know, they always get to be first and you never get to talk. That's not where we at right now. We're in the beautiful place of recognizing that, number one, your man needs you.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, it's you can talk about that later. And sometimes, all the time, you know, there are priority things, and like sometimes this is a priority and sometimes this is a priority, and recognizing those times, and how effective is that conversation even going to be if he's in that space.
Right.
So it's just like recognizing all those things. But I appreciate, you know, all that he was breaking down right there. So I love that. All right, you all in the chat, talk to me about how you feeling about what is being said about women. Now, looks like most people in the chat, not everybody, but most people in the chat are married. But here's your question, one of your questions: do you feel like that with your man? Like the things that are being said about women here, do they communicate that to you, or do they just make you feel like how these men are describing women? Hit me in the chat. All right. See, Keith also said the little dance they do when they get something to eat. I don't typically do that, but I see a lot of people who do that. So I'm like, okay, I guess it depends on how long or what it is. It's something I really wanted. The humor. This was funny. He said when they're funny, they're absolutely unhinged. And I was like,
you're like, we've been around friends, and it's just yeah.
And then your stomach be hurting and all that. Right. It's just crazy.
Right.
The ability to overcome any and everything, and the way women look at you when you make them feel safe and comfortable. Wow. Now that's just like meeting each other's needs. And where y'all at in the chat? Hit me in the chat. Meeting each other. So it's like you make them feel safe, make us feel safe and protected, and then we look at you a certain kind of way that makes you want to then keep on making us feel safe and protected, and we keep on, and it's just recycle. It's a cycle, you know. And the problem is when we abort the cycle, because it's what we should be doing is doing out of love and respect for that man, and he's doing out of love and respect for us. But when we do it just to get something from us, the other person, transaction, then if they don't give you what you want, then you take that away. And what he's describing is like, no, this is cyclical.
Yes, that's the way it should be. This is the way God intended it to be. Both of us are getting our needs met. We're feeling love. We're feeling, like I said, safe and comfortable. He's feeling respected and appreciated. And that thing. And when you have that, when things come up, because life happens, you've already been getting that. So you know, okay, we're going to get over this too. And we're going to keep doing what we do. We're still going to, I'm going to keep loving it. I'm going to keep respecting and appreciating. You're going to keep loving me and making me feel safe. Like, we're just going to do that. And men too. Like you said, having us feel safe and comfortable. Men need to feel safe, you know, and feel like, you know, I'm not just out here paying all the bills and doing all the things. And then, you know, I need something out of your transaction drawer. I ain't giving it to you. And now, like you said, she's pulling back on everything. You know, she's weaponizing sex or not being there for you emotionally. And so we don't want to do that, ladies. We want to give him what he needs. And like you said, when we get what we need to, there is a look, there is a, people say softness, there's a peace and there's a calm. And there's safety in that.
Absolutely. I think you're going to like this one.
Reminding you to schedule that doctor's appointment. Yeah. Okay, because they always say men don't go. Married men, there's literally studies show married men live longer. And we know why. It's because the wife is on the other side. You might go get your prostate check. You might go get this boy. Like, we just nagging him. You had your annual visit yet?
Yeah.
What you doing? So I agree with that one totally. But first of all, did you see his name? No Hairline 85. This brother is.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. He said they're the closest thing to God's love on this planet.
Hey.
I almost could just end right there.
I mean, it's a tangible fact, okay?
And then another woman who's just saying, this comment gave me a second win. A lot of us don't get told such things often enough, or never. And thank you for reminding me that we are amazing creatures on this planet. Ought to be a woman.
Yes, Nessa, yes.
And I think that it's important, it's important for women to affirm and uplift each other.
Yeah.
But I'll just, kind of step back, pull back the curtain a little bit and just be like, it's a different kind of energy when a man affirms you.
Oh, yeah.
Not better, not more meaningful, just different.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely difficult when you don't have a man that's pouring into you regularly. And so even having male friends can be beneficial, not all the time, because sometimes that's problematic, but to have men in your life, a father, first of all.
Yes.
Now, of course, my father's deceased, so that he can't do that, but a father figure who does that, who it's not just men that you are interested in or men that you're dating or married to.
Yeah.
It's just the way that men pour into you is different than the way that women pour into you. Because I don't think a lot of these things, some of these things women would say too, but a lot of these things women would not say to each other. No. It's what men are recognizing about women in a different way than what women recognize about women. I'm not going to go up to a woman and be like, oh, I love your feminine energy. Like, it just doesn't really, but a man sees that because, if we're both feminine, then that energy is going to be similar. But a man looking on is going to see something different than himself. Yeah. And so this guy talks about feminine energy. Yeah. A woman who sits in her womanhood with peace, grace, calm, confidence, sincerity. And the old man said, what?
They never forget to buy the toilet paper. I've been chuckling about that thing the past 20 seconds. But that is so true. Like, when we went to the retreat, I came back home, went in my bathroom, and I was like, where's the toilet paper? Where? And come to find out, rather than even going to get the toilet paper from where it's stored, sometimes my kids are coming in my bathroom, taking my roll. And I'm like, wait a minute. So if I was not here, who's going to buy the toilet paper? Who?
Right.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. This is our last slide. And there's, obviously you can see that with all the likes, there was 85,000 likes. There were, thousands and thousands of comments.
Yeah.
But I just want to read reading these last few ones. That nurturing thing they do. If you let it rub off on you, you become a kinder, gentler version of yourself. That's kind of litty.
Yes. Yo, my husband says he's become more of a softer because of me, period. Hands down. The tough, hard New York exterior has been kind of softened around the edges.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's what God intended, not to make you a simp or whatever, but because that's not what we want to do. But he's like, you just become a kinder, gentler version of yourself if you let that rub off on you. And
that's the key.
Like, that's the key.
Yes.
That is the key. Because because you can just be like, I'm just going to take advantage of that and just embrace it for myself and not become that version. So now you are then pouring that out on her too.
Yeah.
But I think that for single women watching or who will watch in the future, it's like, look, examine yourself. Ask your girlfriends, ask your male friends if you're dating someone, ask them. Just be prepared for the answer, of course. But look at yourself. Are you nurturing?
Yeah.
Are you kind? Are you gentle? Even when you might be having to talk about something that is, maybe some conflict or difference or whatever, it doesn't mean that you have to go in hard like you about to, go to blows and stuff. And so when you come with that energy consistently, how does that impact him? Now, obviously, there are men who are unwilling to grow and who whatever. That's a whole different thing. But we're not talking about them men today.
Yeah.
We're talking about the good men who are seeing these beautiful things, who are appreciating, and they are growing and developing from them as well.
And I was going to add to that, like you said, we're talking about the men who are willing to listen, the men who are willing to listen to the woman's guidance or advice about a thing. Women also check your approach. Because you may have a man who you're saying is not willing to listen. It's your approach sometimes. Is he coming in the house? He's been chewed out by his boss, chewed out by one of his clients. Traffic, somebody almost hit him. And so he's already on 1,000. And as soon as he get in the door, you diarrhea mouth, everything, all your problems. And why did you leave the toilet seat up? And you told you to pick up directly, like all these things. Wait, make sure the man, home is safe for him too. He's been out slaying dragons. Let him get back into the castle. Take his shoes off. Let him get a little relaxed. Let the man watch a little ESPN. Okay, let him decompress however he needs to, and then try to talk sales day was whatever. But also when it is a time where he is vulnerable, because they do get vulnerable too, ladies. Watch how you're saying the thing. Are you coming off very yang, or you're asking, or you and making sure you're picking the right moments, so that too, when you are sharing something that's a matter of your heart, that can maybe help soften them or help them see another perspective, a way of doing something or treating a person, that you're saying it in a way that they can receive it, or just showing it. Because don't tell him you need to forgive your father, but you ain't talking to somebody in your family for 20 years. You're holding on to the thing. You got to be the example too.
Absolutely. And so this is, I guess they're seeing some examples of that, and that's impacting them as well.
Yeah.
Their authenticity, passion, gentle spirit, optimism, inspiration, and most of all, their unwavering effort, their smell. And the final one, well, he's like, how she handles business, the way she moves when I'm not in her presence, and her drive and aspirations. And then look at the final one that I didn't even necessarily pick this to land on, but easiest answer ever. The pure joy that washes over y'all when you get to show off your new dress. Because
it is such a joyous moment. Like, it's just, I mean, sometimes there's even a little twirl with it. Like, my hands in my pocket, and I'm just like shimmy it, because I'm happy about them pockets on my dress. So
absolutely. So, like, we're smiling really big, and we feel, I feel good. I think you feel good. We might have come feeling good, but we already knew what we were going to talk about too. But how do you all feel in the chat? Does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel like, oh, I want to maybe I'm not that. I am this, but I'm not that. that's something that I want to aspire to, or I want to be better at, or I want to think about more in my interactions with the men in my life, or are you just smiling like I'm all that? And thank you for recognizing it.
Yes. Yes.
We just wanted to feel good today.
Yeah.
We didn't want to talk about, red flags and all the bad things and, all of these types of things. We just wanted to feel good and help you feel good and just think about how we can implement the love that God has naturally put in our hearts for people.
Yeah.
Our partners, our family, our children, our siblings, our parents, and everybody doesn't have the same good story about their family, and I get that, or even their marriage.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we want to, the lesson we want to get out of this is don't stop being who God created you to be.
That part.
Just because somebody else is walking with the enemy or living for the enemy or doing wrong. Because you really do suffer whether you purposefully stop walking in that love, or maybe you just don't have anyone to bestow all of that on. It really has an impact on you.
Yeah.
Because so even if you're not in a relationship, find people to love on, find people to invest in, find people to pour into, because it's really important to have relationships where you can come fully as yourself.
Yes.
And fully as who God has called you to be. Tell me what your thoughts are.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that, and I think that the more we can start speaking things, because we have the power of life and death in our tongue, to remember that this is who God called us to be. This is how He created us to be your natural self. Don't try to conform to what the world is saying we should look like right now and how we should behave and go get this surgery and do that thing. But that there are some untangible, unpurchasable things about women that we have, that God placed in us and only us, that you can't buy, you can't sell it, that we can complement each other as women. We don't have to be in competition. That you can, if you find that you're somebody who's not giving a sister her flowers, and you don't come, you staring her up and down when she walk past because you like, look at she wearing that dress. Tell that girl, look how you wearing that dress.
Just change the tone and makes it all different.
All the difference. Because you do feel good you feel better doing that, knowing that you made somebody else's day better. And again, for those of us who maybe have children, they're watching us. They are watching us, and they're watching how we're loved, and they're watching how we're being loved. And believe, again, women, Pastor Leggett has said it. My husband came on this show with other men and said it. Women, we have the power to set the tone in our homes and in our relationships.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship, and especially if you're in a marriage, I would say, but you want to get these things kind of straight away before you get married. And if you're not feeling that love, your man doesn't have none of these nice things to say about you, you got to go and have a self-check, tell him to get a checkup. And I would say, sit down and ask this question to your spouse. But guess what? Then let him ask it to you. And you think about these things, because unfortunately, we get sometimes so caught up in our routines. The conversations are about what bills we had to pay, how was work, what the kids got to do at school, what we need to do next week. And you don't spend time edifying your spouse, making sure they feel valued and loved, and vice versa. And before you know it, you've started to drift away and you don't even realize it. Yeah. And this is why a lot of people, once the kids do leave the house, their marriages crumble, because there's not been any loving happening in the midst. So be intentional. I challenge you to go and have this conversation with your spouse and maybe ask more questions. We do this every day night. We Google. We still haven't gotten through the list, because as we've done even here, Lorraine, on this show, you'll ask one question, then it'll spur off to something else totally different. But ask these questions. God created this thing, created marriage. For those who are married, who are looking to be married, it's a beautiful thing. It's an example of what our relationship with Christ is like. And we need to be intentional about it. Make the time to make your marriage one of the best relationships you have on this earth, and show each other that you value them. And again, if you have a sister out there that you may be feeling down, just send her a text. Just even to say, hey girl, I see you. I know you're working hard. I know you're going through a lot, but I just wanted you to know I see you. You're beautiful. You're strong. Let's speak life into each other, ladies, because I'm glad the men did it. We need to do it for each other as well, and speak life back into your men. So I'm hoping that the that's right, T, I got it. But I'm hoping that, like you said, there's a reverse question now for the women.
There is coming up. But first, let me, you gotta hit you with a little bit of scripture. 1 Peter 3:7-9. Husbands likewise dwell with them with understanding, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered. And we know that weaker does not mean weaker the way that we think of it, just because of the way the men described it, resilient and strong and nurturing and all that. It doesn't mean weaker like that.
Yes.
Verse 8, finally, all of you be of one mind. All of you. He's talking to the husbands. All of you be of one mind, having compassion for one another. Love as brothers, be tenderhearted, be courteous, not returning evil for evil or reviling for reviling, but on the contrary, blessing, knowing that you were called to this, that you may inherit a blessing.
Amen.
So even though, as you're married, you may not be affected as much by the gender wars, but there's a lot of stuff going on out there. We don't have to buy into it. We don't have to play into it. The Bible says, don't return evil for evil. So if they're saying hate about you, or even coming on our channel and talking, like, we can still be who God has called us to be, even in our response to that. And that is what we were called to, so that we will be blessed by God. And so now I want to ask a question before we sign off here. And I want you to put this in the comments, even when we are, ending the stream in a couple minutes. What is your favorite thing about men besides money and looks? So I want you to drop that in the comments, because we want to then maybe send some love. We want to send some love back in their direction, so that they know that they are valued beyond those superficial things. So what is your favorite thing about men besides money and looks? We're going to put that in the description as well, and pin that to the top so people can put that in the comments. So we would love to follow up next week. Maybe not the whole show will be about that, but we're going to read some of those comments that y'all put, so that we can then celebrate them as they have so generously celebrated us.
Amen.
Well, we want to thank you again for being here with us. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely put your comments in. If you're interested, I think everybody in here is already in the group. But if you're not in the group, or you know someone you should be in, then just give them the link.
Yes.
The link, comments. We got the shirts going on. We got mugs going on. We got some pins going on. But that's what we really have going on, is community support and coaching, so that you can drop the facade of having to be strong all the time, and you have people that holding you up and supporting you and praying for you. Our ministry started with prayer, and that is the most thing that we do. We pray for one another. But we have other things. You can go to that website and check out all that is included in the community. We would love to have you. And so thank you, real men, for sharing what you value about us. And we love it. And we want to be more of that for you all in our life. And so until next time, make choices that will help you live, love, and marry wiser. God bless you.